All right, let's dive into one of the cornerstones of English literature, the epic poem Beowulf. Now, we're not just going to retell the story of a hero smacking down monsters. Nope. We're going to go deeper. We're going to unpack the powerful themes and symbols that make this ancient story feel so, well, so relevant, even now.
So, the whole epic, all 3,000 plus lines, kicks off with just one word. What? In Old English, that's basically the storyteller shouting, "Listen up," or "Hey." It's like a command. It immediately yanks you out of your own time and drops you right into this smoky, firelit hall, listening to a tale of heroes and monsters. What an incredible way to start, right? Okay, so at its core, this whole story is really about a world against a monster. It's a clash between civilization and chaos. And this isn't just about some guy fighting a beast. No, it's way bigger. It's about two worlds colliding. The neat, orderly world of people versus the wild, raw chaos that's always scratching at the door.
And you can see that clash right here. On the one hand, you've got the human world, all centered around Heorot, the great mead hall. It's all about harmony, community, light, order, good times. And then you have the monsters world, the swamp. It's the total opposite. Dark, lonely, hostile, and just dripping with envy for everything happening in that hall.
So let's talk about Grendel. Because he's not just some monster with claws, he's the embodiment of chaos. The poem tells us he's a descendant of Cain, the first murderer from the Bible. So he is the ultimate outcast. And he absolutely hates the sound of human joy coming from Heorot. That's why he attacks for 12 long years. It's not just random violence, it's an attack on civilization itself, fueled by this bitter jealousy because he can never be a part of it. All right, so that's the threat. Now, who's the hero brave enough to face this darkness? We're talking about the Germanic hero ethic. To fight a creature that is literally chaos, you need a hero who is the exact opposite, a perfect symbol of order and strength. And that hero, of course, is Beowulf. So what's the recipe for a hero like Beowulf? Well, yeah, there's the superhuman strength, obviously. But that's just the beginning. It's really about his deep sense of honor and loyalty, his courage in the face of certain death. He's all about protecting other people. But the big one, the really crucial part, is his acceptance of his own fate, what the Anglo-Saxons called weird. That's the real test of a hero.
And the poem itself tells us this at the very end. It says he was, of all of the world's kings, the most generous to his own, and the most courteous to men, the kindest to his people, and the most eager for glory. See? It's not just about being strong. His real heroism is defined by how he treated his people. He fought for them, and yeah, he wanted glory, but not for his ego. He wanted a legacy that would last.
Okay, let's get into the symbols of light and darkness by looking at his three big fights. Because Beowulf doesn't just face three random monsters. Each one represents a totally different and, frankly, a much deeper kind of threat.
This breaks it down really nicely. First, you've got Grendel. He's the symbol of chaos and envy. Basically, humanity versus the outsider. Then comes Grendel's mother. This one's about something more primal, revenge. It's about that vicious cycle of violence creating more violence. And last, you have the dragon. This is the big one. This is about greed and death, the hero facing his own mortality. It's a fight he can't truly win.
And we have to keep coming back to Heorot Hall because it's the symbol of everything he's fighting to protect. It's not just a big party room, It's civilization. It stands for safety, community, and joy. So when Grendel attacks it, he's trying to snuff out that light. Beowulf isn't just saving people, he's saving the very idea of society. So this all gets us to the real heart of the poem, the bigger ideas. We're talking about the weight of fame and fate. What does it mean to live and die for glory? This is what really drives a hero like Beowulf.
And you cannot understand Beowulf without understanding this word. It's the Anglo-Saxon idea of fate. The belief that your future, your whole life story, is already decided. So for a hero, courage isn't about dodging your destiny. Not at all. It's about looking your fate right in the eye and meeting it with dignity. That's how you show your real character.
So that makes you wonder, right? Is he a hero or just a pawn of destiny? The poem seems to say that his greatness comes from how he plays the part he was given. He knows his fate is sealed, but he still chooses to act, to fight with everything he has. And that's the core of his heroism.
Think about it. If your death is already written, what's left? What lasts? Your name, your reputation. In this culture,
Fame is the only way to become immortal. Beowulf fights for a story, a glory that will live on long after he's gone. He wants the bards to sing his praises for generations to come. Which brings us to his final battle, gold and death. We're jumping forward in time. Beowulf is an old king now, and he's about to face his ultimate challenge, a final showdown with a dragon.
And the dragon's treasure is packed with symbolism. Sure, gold can be a reward for a hero, but this treasure, it represents something darker. It's about greed. It's a hoard that's just sitting there, useless. In the end, it shows how worthless all that wealth really is. I mean, all the gold in the world can't save you from death, right?
And Beowulf knows it. He tells his men, "This is not an undertaking for you. It is for me alone to measure my strength against the monster." He's telling them to stand down. This fight is his and his alone. It's his final act as a protector, accepting his fate and his responsibility, even if it costs him everything.
But as his men run away in fear, one guy stays. Wiglaf. And his loyalty is maybe one of the most important moments in the entire poem. It shows that the heroic spirit isn't just tied to one person. It's a code, a set of values, honor, loyalty, that can be passed on. The hero might fall, but the idea of the hero can live on.
So what's the bottom line here? Glory is eternal. Gold is not. Beowulf dies, the dragon is dead, and all that treasure gets buried right along with him. Completely useless. The only thing that lasts is his story, his glory. That's the real treasure.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. In what ways do the monsters, the heroes, and the treasures of Beowulf continue to shape the stories we tell today? Just think about it. The next time you watch a superhero movie or read a fantasy novel, look for these ancient patterns. You'll see them everywhere.